Christmas Eve, which is usually synonymous with lights, gifts, and warm smiles, suddenly turned into a moment full of emotion for Cha Eun-woo's fans around the world. Not because of the scandal, not because of the announcement of a new project, but because of a simple Christmas letter written with honest words and the deepest feelings of the heart of a Lee Dongmin real name Cha Eun-woo, who has always been known to always smile, neat, and look perfect in the eyes of the public. The letter was officially published for his fans, and in a matter of minutes, its contents spread widely, was reread, saved, and even printed by many for one reason. It was so touching and sad. Cha Eun-woo opened his letter with a warm greeting, addressing the fans as the ones who are always by my side, even when I'm invisible. That opening line alone is enough to make many fans speechless. There are no promotional sentences, no formal impressions typical of celebrities. There is only the inner voice of someone who is brooding on Christmas Eve, away from the glitter of the stage and the camera spotlight. He said this year's Christmas felt different, more quiet, cooler, not because of the weather, but because his heart is learning to accept many changes. Cha Eun-woo honestly admits that behind the smile she always shows in public, there are days when she feels very tired, empty, and longing for the simple things she used to have before being known to the world. He writes that sometimes he misses being able to walk around unrecognized, laugh carefree, and go home without having to think about anyone's expectations. The part of the letter that made fans shed tears the most was when Cha Eun-woo mentioned loneliness. He said that there were nights where he sat alone, read messages from fans, and asked himself if he was strong enough to keep going. He did not mention specific details of the events, but his sentences quite clearly described the great pressure he felt as a public figure. There are days when I don't feel good enough, even though everyone says otherwise. She wrote, a confession that felt very human. Cha Eun-woo also wrote down his guilt to the fans. He feels sad because he cannot always be present, cannot always return the love he receives in the expected way. He apologizes if there are moments in which he seems distant, silent, or changed. In the letter, he affirms that change does not mean less love, but an often painful process of maturation. This sentence made many fans feel touched, because all this time they only saw the final result of his struggle, not the small injuries that he accumulated along the way. The Christmas letter also reveals a rarely seen side of Cha Eun-woo, his fear of time. He wrote that time was running too fast, and he was afraid that someday he would no longer be able to stand in the same place, greet fans in the same way. He was afraid of disappointing them, afraid of losing the moment, and afraid of not being able to keep the promise he once said with full confidence. This recognition feels so deep because it comes from someone who has always been considered calm and confident. But behind the sadness, the letter also contains a very sincere gratitude. Cha Eun-woo writes that the fans are the reason he survives his toughest days. He admitted that there were times when a simple message from a fan saved him from feeling like giving up. He refers to fans as little lights that stay on when his world feels dark. That simple metaphor actually made many people cry because it showed how big a role fans play in his life, not just as a career support, but as an emotional support. It also speaks of an uncertain future. Without mentioning specific plans, Cha Eun-woo writes that he is in a phase of life where he thinks a lot, ponders a lot, and learns a lot to let go. This sentence sparked various speculations among fans, but what was most felt was the subtle sadness that enveloped her every word, as if the letter were not just a Christmas greeting, but a record of the inner journey of a person who is trying to understand himself. Towards the end of the letter, Cha Eun-woo writes a simple wish for his fans. He hoped that they could celebrate Christmas warmly, not feel alone, and not forget to love themselves. He even wrote, "If one day I'm not strong enough, I hope you stay strong for yourself." This sentence becomes one of the most heartbreaking parts, because it feels like a prayer as well as an acknowledgement of his limitations as a human being. He closed his letter with a promise that was not bombastic, but rather felt more meaningful. Cha Eun-woo promises to keep trying to be an honest version of himself, though not always perfect. It does not promise success, it does not promise eternal popularity, it only promises to keep going with a sincere heart. This cover left many fans feeling a mix of pride, sadness, and worry. Shortly after the letter was released, social media was filled with emotional reactions. Many fans admitted to reading the letter while crying. Some say they just realized how heavy a burden Cha Eun-woo has been carrying all this time. There are also those who feel touched because they can finally see the fragile side of their idol, a side that is rarely shown on the screen. The letter became a trending topic, not because of hype, but because of honesty. Entertainment industry observers also rated Cha Eun-woo's Christmas letter as one of the most personal messages ever written by an idol to his fans. In a world of entertainment that is often filled with imagery, this letter feels like a breath of fresh air, honest, simple, and full of emotion. The sadness implied in it is not a dramatic sadness, but a silent sadness that many people often feel, but is rarely expressed. For fans, this letter is not just a Christmas greeting. It serves as a reminder that behind a perfect face and a brilliant career, Cha Eun-woo is an ordinary human being who can get tired, scared, and feel lonely. It is precisely because of this that their love and support are felt even stronger. Many promise to be constantly by his side, not only when he shines, but also when he feels dim. This year's Christmas may not have been filled with joyful laughter for Cha Eun-woo, but his letter has created a deeper emotional bond between him and his fans. A bond born of honesty, tears, and mutual understanding. And perhaps that's where the real meaning of Christmas lies, not in luxury, but in the courage to open your heart, albeit with the deepest feelings of sadness. The continuation of Cha Eun-woo's Christmas letter only makes it clearer why its contents are so imprinted on the hearts of fans. After the concluding part full of simple promises, many people go back to reading the previous sentences and find a deeper meaning, as if every word was written with a burden of feelings that had been kept tight. It's not just about Christmas. The letter feels like a piece of Cha Eun-woo's soul that he finally dared to show to the world in a piece that is rarely highlighted by the media. Cha Eun-woo actually alludes to the fear of losing herself. He wrote that sometimes he felt that his life was going too fast, while his heart was lagging behind. He admitted that he tried hard to remain the Cha Eun-woo loved by many people, but at the same time he did not want to forget Lee Dong-min, who once dreamed of being simple. This sentence made many fans realize that the biggest pressure of an idol is not just about a busy schedule, but about maintaining an identity amid public demands. He also wrote that there were times when he felt guilty for feeling sad, even though he knew many people thought his life was perfect. It was the feeling of guilt for not being supposed to feel tired that she found most painful. In the letter, Cha Eun-woo seems to want to say that sadness doesn't choose status or popularity. Anyone can feel fragile, even those who every day look happy on the screen. Another part that left fans speechless was when he alluded to the Christmas Eve that he went through with more silence than celebration. He described a simple atmosphere, a small lamp, a cup of warm drink, and his mind filled with memories. He does not mention loneliness explicitly, but the way he describes the atmosphere is enough to make the reader feel it. Many fans claim to be able to imagine Cha Eun-woo sitting alone, pondering, and writing the letter with a heavy heart. Cha Eun-woo also alludes to gratitude mixed with fear. He is grateful for being loved so much, but he is also afraid that one day he will not be able to fulfill that love. He wrote that the love of fans is the greatest gift, but also a huge responsibility. This sentence feels honest and mature, showing that he understands his position not just as an artist, but as a figure on whom many people emotionally depend.